Okay. Good to see everybody. Good to see you. Good, somebody says good to be seen. You know, otherwise I guess you're at this point. Turn to 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 12. I want to kind of key in on this verse now. Then we'll read the verse, and then we're going to come back to it. I think we've referred to it recently, and you know the verse is very familiar. And it's basically Paul's personal testimony. And that's what I want to talk about a little bit tonight. Not only his testimony, but bridging from that and building on that. I want to talk about it. We all have a testimony. All of us, all of us who are saved have a testimony. I'd like to just make a note of this. Brian, you know this person, I think it's Debbie Carter. She was a guest of yours all in Easter. I don't get you personally, but I love a couple things she put down this visitor thing. Well, I about had me a spell over there. I read something like, you pick up a visitor's thing and it says something like this something. Been out of church many years, would like to return. That'll give a pastor's heart to the problem. And then this one when I almost like kicked out. Just like I thought I was having, like golly, it's a heart that listen, it's a big one. Scrolling back to here, I like working with children. I thought, you can think to yourself, this way you have come to the white place. She did? She did. Did I hear it? Did you ever hear that? No. She made all the costumes for the children's Christmas program. I should tell us her skill. Right. I want her to make wine one next time. Okay. But that's, I'm excited. That's really good. And I'll listen. And I will say this too, they're here, and I'm just so glad you are here. You newest people right here, the precious babies, you're precious ones. I love it when people are saved on Wednesday night and then grow next Tuesday night. Amen. That really, I am excited. I'm just plumb excited, And so guys, I'm so proud, and thank God. God's up to something. I don't understand it all. I don't have to understand. I don't know it all. I know very little. I just want to stay out of God's way and let Him work. He do a lot better than we can. All right. 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 12. You've known this verse since you were any high the grasshopper. Probably you've been in church. With which cause Paul's getting ready to, he knows his death approaching. And here's what he says. With which cause, verse 11 tells he's appointed a preacher, an apostle, and a teacher to the Gentiles. That's his office. That's why he's been called to do it, right? For this cause, here's what he's going to say. With which cause also suffer these things in prison. Paul was in prison suffering for the things of Christ. Nevertheless, I'm not ashamed. For I know whom I believe. And I'm persuaded that he is able to keep that which I committed unto him against that day. Isn't that a good verse? Let me read this. Let me read that kind of the last portion of that again. For I know whom I believe. Now notice he didn't say, and it's important also, he didn't say, I know what I believe. So many times we ask people, what do you believe about something? Well, it's good to know what you believe, but it's more important to know whom you believe. Right? I know whom I believe. And persuaded that he's able to keep that which I have committed unto him against that day. There are really about 2 or 3 words really, really critically important here that we see, and that one of them is persuaded. And I think we dwelled a little bit on this earlier, but we want to camp around that a bit more tonight. So let's keep the place, keep that in mind when we get back to that if you want. By means of prayer, remember the Wallace family. Robert lost his brother. Pray for them. Pray for Tiffany. Music, she's having service in the morning at Bristol. Remember her. Remember these others that have lost loved ones recently. Of course, Donna Hess and her family. And Justice. Remember her. She's going to have service. Great to see her here Sunday. And also remember Paulette Ramsey. These, I can't imagine what they're going through. I have no way of knowing what they're going through. But some of you can relate to that. Some in this room can relate to losing a baby and can somehow better sense the feel of what kind of depth of pain that is. So remember them. Remember the service Sunday? It's a special day for us, Mother's Day, always special. Remember our mothers to be honored and recognized Sunday morning, and we want to have the church Sunday evening so that you and all of us can spend time with your family. If you have your mom, if you have your family like that, be sure to make sure you do something special for your mom on Sunday, and of course really every day also. We all have many of us, all of us really have a great debt to our mothers. If you were privileged to grow up under a godly, spirit-led woman, a woman that loves you, cares for you, takes you to church, and look at Jesus, live Jesus before you, have lots of things, all of it. So remember that. Remember the building program? I thought it was really a blessing Sunday to march around the property. Would you not agree with me that that's a bigger piece of property than it looks like? And you're looking at it, it looks like when you drive by it and see it, you think, well, that's not that big at all. Walk around it. Walk around Julio's trailer and see. But it is just a big piece of property. We have a big task ahead of us. But like we talked about Sunday, the walls of Jericho were a mighty big thing in front of Israel. The God took care of it. And just as He has done that, He did it many times, and He's done it for many people, many occasions since then, He can do it for us. And we trust Him for that. And when you commit something, Paul's going to tell us that too. When you commit something in God's hands, it should take our pressure off. Now we're responsible. That don't exclude our responsibility, but it does put a whole different light on it when you put anything in God's hands, doesn't it? So these, you see the prayer concerns. We have several on the salvation list. We certainly want to remember these and be aware of them. And I want to kind of constantly, I'm thinking about, I probably have a little sign over here eventually. I want to remind us constantly of this wall of soul. Because each one of those represents a soul being saved, and I'm going to also prepare a sign over here. We're going to have when we can see those like we did last Wednesday on that wall. We're going to put them over here and build a wall, like a wall of salvation, a wall of victory. It's a victory wall. There in Israel, as you well know, the remnants of the old temple, the courtyard, they call it the Wailing Wall. We need to have a rejoicing wall. And I think if you have a wall that people can say, that would be a great wall of rejoicing. We may call it that. And the wall of rejoicing, it's great to see what God can do. All right. Vacation Bible School, we certainly pray for that. Either on the Finance Committee, remember Sunday morning meeting at 9. And, remember Harold, his continuing struggles. Several of our shutting folks, Pat Harris, different ones that we pray for constantly, that they'll know peace and joy tonight. Oh yes, thank you, I thought about that today as we were around the valley here. We still need someone to go to giving school. Someone, God lays upon your heart. It'll be about 4 more weeks probably, or 3. It'll be on Wednesday, right? Probably day. You go in day. What I tell 8 o'clock? About 8 o'clock. Right. So if God lays on your heart to share in the Bible club at Giving School, we've got, 20 minutes, something like that. You're there a short time. 10, 15, actually, it's a real short time. You have to get through and get to class. So if God lays it on your heart to help us out with that in a few weeks here until we can get to school, the rest of the school year, that'll be a great blessing. The children are hungry, the teachers want it, everybody wants it. Now that's an open door. And we really need that. So if God lays it on your heart, I pray you will tonight. Remember, God wants to do that. He's got a blessing for somebody. You'll get a bigger blessing than what they will if you'll just so if God lays it on your heart, be sure to let us know. Let Glenn know. Glenn's got it. Right. They're smaller, younger children, and they really have a terrific interest in things of God, and it's a hunger there, and that's encouraging. It's a hunger. Please pray about that, and if God lays on your heart to do that, just help us out a few weeks until we get through the school year. Anybody else have a specific prayer request you would share?
Is Mike Hutchinson here home tonight? Or who's there? Mike Hutchinson. Is he the one that's here home tonight? We just need to pray about that. Mike Hutchinson.
Hutchinson family, okay. Go with that. Just shortly ago, Mike Hilton texted and said they were on the way to the hospital, and his brother that found their baby tonight.
How's one? Mike's wife,
I think pretty good.
So he had her on the prior list.
Yeah, I think she's doing pretty good. Still struggling. So, yep. All right. Good. I was thinking about that. Okay. Lots of things going on. Belinda Schrader, Justice Shelton, the family, the situation. Remember Randy? She was supposed to pray for Randy. Okay. Greg, okay. Yep. Yeah, she was on full oxygen at that whole getting moved down. Remember that Lisa Lester? Remember that Lisa? Donna Richardson. And got summer of her, didn't it? Like, wow. Look, we just came out of a snowstorm, and then, all right.
Mike was really, really sick for about 2 weeks, and then things really been good, and he's keeping on him. And also his little grandson, Adrian, was really sick too. And both of them.
Not his grandson, okay.
And also on his cousin, Bill Elton, that in cancer.
Bill Elton. Okay.
So they have to wait on, I guess. What'd you say they have to wait? What'd you say? Because she got bit by a tick or fly?
Lyme disease. All right.
We need to be around now to do it.
That. season of prayer, and I hope some of you will pray. If you feel led to pray audibly, I'd love to have you do that. And I'm going to ask that we just go to the Lord and just numb our hearts before Him for a few minutes. Harvey, would you start a prayer, and then after everyone close, praise, I'll close the prayer. I appreciate it.
Most kind and gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we are thankful for God to be able to help us serve the city of God. Lord, we thank you for our help, dear God, to be able to walk in this church, dear God, and to worship with worship, dear Lord. I just thank you, God, for each one of their kids tonight, dear God. And Lord, we have several that are on this prayer list that we've mentioned tonight, dear God, that are on our hearts. Lord, I just pray that you would be with each one of us, dear God, in your own special ways, in this service, morning, service, tomorrow. Just everything, the ones that do it, so I'm with the people, God. Each one of the businesses in the dead, one of the lost loved ones, dear Lord, I just pray to visit families, God. We know that we have to look to you, dear Lord, for all these, for our comfort, dear Lord. I just pray that you comfort each one of these individuals tonight, dear Lord. And we just thank you, God, for everything that you do for these guys. I pray that you have a blessing tonight, dear Lord, and let us speak to us, dear God, and let us understand the word, dear Lord, and to apply your word where we can, dear God. Christ's name.
Lord, I pray that you would strengthen us, encourage us, and fill us, and prepare us for Sunday in a great way. Prepare us, Lord, for a disability program. I pray we'll put everything together, work many, many miracles. Lord, we don't have to have many miracles from you because we can't do it on our own. We know that you can. I just pray that you would supernaturally work. Thank you for these new believers you brought to us. And Lord, they're involved. And I just thank you, Lord, for not what you're doing. I think with our vacation Bible school, we get everything we've done. I pray that Lord, we centered on you and that we'll be renewed in you. And these all your people now together to pray with you, Lord. Any passions are discouraged, any in trouble. Lord, let's praise and encourage them tonight. May there be a great revival break out in a great way in America. May that America some way, even though the odds look so much against us, I pray that somehow America will come back to God tonight. Lord, we do it this way. Bless you, Father. In Jesus' name. Amen.
What kind of testimony did Paul have? Paul was tested. He was a person that had been through a lot of suffering. God had told him he would suffer for him. But Paul had a glowing testimony of truth in that God had changed him and dealt in his life and administered to him and through him. And I want to look back to 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 12 again, and just dwell on this a few minutes tonight. When Paul, in his condition, said, I know. Now, let's think about the context of which, right, he's in prison. He's facing imminent death shortly. He, in his humanity and his fleshly sense, he's going through a difficult time. But you would not know it to hear Paul. He's not complaining. He's not down. He's not upset. Matter of fact, it's really kind of the opposite what you pick up here. And it's one thing to know God and know your faith and know your stand with Christ when everything is going good. But you can rest assured, my dear precious children, you can rest assured of this one thing: a real, genuine faith will be tested. What is Adrian Rogers once said that, a faith not tested is a faith not trusted. And it is through the crucible of testing, and we went through that with James, his dealing with what testing was and so forth, and how God tests us not to hurt us but to strengthen us. Testing is a form of discipline. It is an expression of discipline. And testing is necessary to invoke and produce growth. Paul was in a testing situation. He'd been in many of them. Many various things he had gone through. But he comes tonight to this place and he says, I suffer these things. He didn't deny that he was suffering. But he did say that, nevertheless, I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed for what I'm going through, what he's saying. Now, some would have, and a person that was weaker perhaps would have, in the testing and in the difficulty, would have said, it's not worth it. And I didn't know this is what it's all about. And why would God put me through this? And I've had a person or persons recently, past few weeks I've had persons say, like, why? A good person, always did well to people, loved people, cared for people, a good person, knew the Lord, lived for the Lord. Why does a person like that have to go through so much difficulty? And this is today's old question, and I can just plainly tell you, I don't know. But I do know that in that and through that, God brings good. We have to believe that. Takes another, exactly right. I believe it's taking, like to, believe exactly right, takes another spiritual level. Sometimes the only way to get there is through the testing. It's like, it's going to that other level. Right in the middle of this, Paul says, nevertheless, he said, I suffered for this cause, for preaching, for being a disciple, for a preacher, for an apostle, a teacher of the Gentiles. He says, this cause I suffered. He says, I suffered in prison, all these things. Nevertheless, I think it is the nevertheless that makes the difference. A lot of other people have suffered just like Paul. But a lot of them did not put the nevertheless with that concept. You and I suffer in our own way. I dare say I don't think anybody in this room has been in prison because of our faith in Jesus. But we all, at least to a degree, we suffer. There comes, just being a Christian in a non-Christian world, invariably there are going to be those times when conflict comes and your value system is not going to be like maybe your boss's value system, or like your friend's value system, or sometimes like your family's value system. Sometimes your value system may not be what your spouse's value system is. Sometimes a child's value system. Some of these children right here, or children's church tonight, or wherever, some of these children have a different value system than their parents do. You see how easy that is to get in a difficult situation. So in essence, not to the degree or to maybe the kind that Paul did, but we all have had to go through some suffering. We've all gone through some things that you wonder sometimes, and all of us do, that's why. Paul said, I suffer these things, nevertheless, I'm not ashamed, or I'm not ashamed of who I am. I'm not ashamed of why I am where I am. I'm not ashamed that I'm having to be in prison now for the Lord. I don't regret it. I don't begrudge it. I don't complain about it. I'm not ashamed of it. Remember that there's another verse, remember that really strategic verse that Paul said in another place he's not ashamed? Remember that? He said something like, I'm not ashamed of what? Gospel. Where's that found at? Now, what's your Bible scholar? Tell me. Don't look there, don't you tell me. Okay? Just think that on it. Okay? It's not the Old Testament. Okay? Where did Paul say, I am not ashamed of the gospel? Where did he? Okay, it's not Acts. What's the next book? Thank you. It's before chapter 2. 1. Hey. Yeah, baby. Well, I tell you, that's what I call coming through. That's the man that's got it back here.
Romans 1:16.
Thank you, sir. Thank you both. Thank you, Harvey, for giving us that. So, Paul had, humanly speaking, Paul probably had a reason sometimes to complain. There's something different about him. He did. Nevertheless, then we get to his testimony. While he's there, while in prison, and giving to us, and the thousands of years it's been handed down, then here's his testimony. So let's look at it real quickly now. It's just a simple verse. The rest of the verse says, I am not ashamed, for I know whom I believe. Now, persuaded these days to keep that which I committed unto him. Now let's break it down. Let's just dissect it a little bit and see what it is. First of all, there's a personal knowledge. I know. Now notice what Paul did not say. Paul did not say, I've heard somebody say, or I once heard it told, or my mom once told me, or my Sunday school teacher once told me, or I heard a preacher preach. Paul didn't say, I think I maybe believe that, or I hope I do, or I think maybe I do. I guess I do. No. What is it? I know. A big difference in I know. I know. He's convinced. He knows. Some people are hoping, some people are guessing, some people are thinking maybe. Some people are saying, well, somebody told me one time I was. Well, you better have more than that. You better have more than say, okay, some preacher told me one time I saved. You better have more than that. You better have more than saying, okay, my mom was saved, or my dad, or, you know, I've been in church, or I've been in Sunday school, or I've been in all the things, all that's great and important. But you better have more than that. Not the truth. I know. He had a personal knowledge. Now, I think we all have to, you know, examine ourselves. We all have to, you know, come to that place too. You know, you'll never have peace until you know. I've heard some old preachers say like this. The know so salvation. You heard that? See, our salvation is not a guess so, or hope so, or think so, or maybe so, dreaming so. No, it really is I know. It's a personal knowledge. Then he says something else, a personal Savior. I know whom. Again, I want to reiterate that. It's not just what you believe. I think it's very important to know what you believe, and it's important to believe the right thing. You can be very sincere and believe the wrong things and still end up lost. I've heard people say, well, all you have to be is sincere. Well, that's just not true. There are a lot of people in the world sincere. They're sincerely lost. They're sincerely confused. They're sincerely in darkness. They're sincerely alienated. And they're sincerely blinded. Sincerity is not enough. Now, you need sincerity for the right thing. But just say, okay, they're okay because they're sincere. Well, if they're sincere about the right things, then. Sincerity is not a guarantee that you're saved, or that you're right with God, is it? You got to make sure you got the right source. So, a personal Savior. I know whom. None other Jesus. There is none other name given under heaven among men whereby we must be saved. Acts 4:12. So there is no other. There is no additional one. There is no, comparative one. There's only one. I know whom. Do we know him? The whom is him, because he is the one and only. And then it's a personal faith. I know whom I have believed. It's a personal faith. You're saved by a personal faith in the Lord Jesus Christ. Now, the Lord has a church, all His redeemed make up His church. And tonight we're a part of this church. We are a church. We're believers, but we were not saved in a group plan. Sometimes you may have this at your office, you may have this at your work, or wherever. Sometimes, for example, insurance, a wonderful, glorious thing to insurance. Sometimes you can get a better rate if you're part of a group plan. But God does not have a group plan of salvation. It's all individual. Just because you're saved as a father does not mean that all of your household are saved. Now, I know the Philippians jailer says he was saved in his house, but I think it doesn't mean just because he was saved that they were automatically saved. It doesn't. It doesn't mean that. It means they all additionally and with him believe. Maybe his example of leading the way is very important. I think it is, don't you? I think dads can do a lot to lead their family. Moms can do a lot to lead their family. But you're not saved as a family. You're saved as individuals. That's wonderful thing. Christian home. That's great to be part of the church. It's great to be part of the redeemed. But we're not saved as a group. It's a personal thing. I know whom I have believed. So when it really comes down to it, to its simplest terms, you being saved or not does not depend on what somebody else believes. Right? Your salvation doesn't depend on somebody else. Sometimes people say, well, if they did this, I'd do this. I've heard Christians say, You bet for certain. If they would do this, I would do that. What does that have anything to do with you? You know? It's just not the way it doesn't work that way. It doesn't function that way. God's kingdom does not function on the fact that your responsibility or your blessing depends just on somebody else and their faith. Their faith can strengthen you or encourage you, but their faith cannot save you. It's a personal faith. Okay? Then also, it's a personal confidence. He also says, not only have believe, but I'm persuaded that he's able. I'm persuaded that he is able. Now, the word persuaded is very interesting. It basically means to convince under argument. I think you can picture a little bit of this in a trial of a jury. You know how it works. You have the jury sitting here, and of course the judge, and then there's a case here. And what does each attorney, what does the plaintiff and the defendant, what do both their attorneys try to do? They try to build a case. They try to persuade, right, the jury. Now they're talking to everybody. In the court, they'll turn around and look at everybody. But basically, really, who are they really talking to? The jury. They're trying to persuade this jury. And they bring in various pieces of evidence. Various ways to build their case in order that they can persuade that jury to vote in the way that they want them to vote. Now, I know you can't trace the analogy all the way down, but I think it kind of pictures what Paul is talking about here and what this word means. It means to convince by argument true or false is by now to pacify or conciliate. It means to bring to terms something that was not at terms before. It has a little kin to the idea of reconcile. See, reconcile means to bring together two parties that were at odds before. Persuade has the idea of also conciliating or bringing to peace or bringing to agreement two that were not in agreement before. Isn't that interesting? Now, what do you and I have to be convinced of, persuaded of? Well, we have to be persuaded that Jesus Christ is Lord. Now, who is the biggest persuader of us to convince us of Jesus? The Holy Spirit. Right? Jesus said of himself, he said, the Holy Spirit, when he comes, he will take the things of mine and show them to you. And when we speak of conviction, that's a revival term, that's a church term, that's a Christian term, it's a Christian truth. Conviction means that you become aware of something that you have not been aware of before. Now, conviction means that you see something or you're being confronted with something that you had not been confronted with before. Conviction means that your heart has been changed, that you see that perhaps you're wrong. You see that you've not been doing right, and you see that the other way is best. And so conviction leads to conversion, which is the change. But conviction is God's working through the Holy Spirit to show you and I that we're wrong, right? And to convince us and show us that we need to change. I personally believe, and I think it's very scriptural, I think it's very, we talk about this all the time, I don't think you can be saved until God convinces you you're lost. And that you need a Savior. Persuaded has the idea of conciliation in this way. It has the idea to assent. It means to give evidence or authority, as we said. It means to agree. It means to have confidence in. It means to believe something, have the assurance of something. It means to make friends. It has the idea of making a friend of you to some idea that you've not been doing before, to obey. It has the idea of persuaded, to trust, to yield. You see that? All that is involved in this word that means persuaded. It's the idea that you have been convinced in your mind and heart than what has been presented to you as the truth. Now, let me ask you a question. Can you be partially convinced and remain unchanged? No. King Agrippa. You know what? What was he? Almost. Paul was under the great leadership of the Holy Spirit. He was under the great inspiration of God, and he preached to Agrippa. He preached the gospel. Like he did everywhere Paul went, he preached the gospel. And Agrippa must have fallen under conviction. Matter of fact, there's another fellow, remember Felix? What he did? Tremble. I think he was so disturbed, he was so aware of his own shortcomings, he trembled. See, that's not changed. He was almost persuaded, wasn't Agrippa, but he was not changed. But Paul was fully persuaded. He had a personal confidence that I'm persuaded that he is able to keep. Now this gets us to the next thing. The personal surrender. He's able to keep what? That which I have committed. Okay. What have we committed to the Lord? Our life, our soul, our very being. We've committed that to the Lord. That's what it means to be saved. It means to bet your life on the fact that Jesus is right or wrong. To put your total trust in Jesus is to bet your life, your soul, your eternity that Jesus is right. That's what the Bible says about him. That means surrender. So persuasion is convinced in your mind based on evidence that has been presented to you. Change comes when you act on that and you surrender to Jesus. You see, you're not saved by a knowledge of Jesus. Are you with me? So you're not saved by a knowledge of Jesus. You're saved by a surrender to Jesus. Can you see that difference? A lot of people know about Jesus. A lot of people know quite a bit about Jesus. The world, the history, the secular history, historians and all these kinds of things. They know, these people know about Jesus. The world knows about Jesus tonight. Matter of fact, he's the most feared personality that's ever lived. Really. That's why he is so taunted tonight. That's why he's so hated. That's why he's so feared. It's fear. The people that want to push God out of everything tonight and are so scared and so anxious to do that, and they're scared because they know really deep down, they've heard about who Jesus is. They know who Jesus is. Yeah. It's like the atheist, for example. So I read this little section that they said something about. If an atheist, if you are convinced in your heart that there is no God, why do you have to go around defending all the time and say, fight? Why do you have to fight God? If he don't exist, how can you fight something that don't exist? That don't make sense. It'd be like, say, take a pistol and shoot at this wall and say, what are you shooting at? He said, well, I'm shooting at a man right there. Really? Yeah. Well, the bill below, I got to stop this man right here. Why? He's ready. So I'm going to shoot. I've seen him. Oh, I heard about him. Yeah, he's there. Yeah, he's there. But he don't exist. But I've got to shoot at him. Make sure I stop him. Now here's really deep down inside what I'm saying. Just in case he really is. That's the point. See that? I really believe why atheists fight this is this. So I don't believe in God, but just in case he is, I better fight everything as he says. That's it. Fighting what you don't believe in. Right? Persuasion. What kind of persuasion? What kind of persuasion? I've heard it said, you've heard it through the years. Many atheists that say, I don't believe in God, but they get in deep trouble. The first thing they say is, oh, God. I tell you something, and I saw this the other day, it makes my blood run cold. So many things happen in this nation that makes my blood run cold. One thing I saw in Oklahoma, and this is not in California. This is not New York. This is in the heartland of America. There's a school system in the heartland of America in Oklahoma. You probably saw this. And when they do the Pledge of Allegiance, they do not say one nation under God. They say one nation under Allah. Kids in our schools in the heartland of America tonight are being taught. Isn't that sad? Isn't that pathetic? We're going to see someday. God's going to see that. I can tell you right now, God's not worried about Allah. Because Allah ain't. He's worried about something that ain't. We better be worried about the God who is. And God will take care of those who ain't. Really. But isn't it funny? Isn't it amazing how warped we can get in our thinking? Well, Paul was, he said, that which I committed. He said, I committed. It's not what you believe in your head, it's what you surrender to. And here's a statement of truth I think you'll agree with. If you want to know how a person really believes, follow them around and see how they live. See, we somehow think that what I believe is here, and it has nothing to do with how I live over here. But I want to tell you, it has everything. Because what you really believe is how you live and what you respond to and how you function. You know, if we say that we really believe in the Bible, we're never in the Bible. I mean, what's that say? What's it say about us? You know, a person says, I believe in church, but they're never around church. A person says, I believe in strong homes, but they do nothing to build that relationship in the family. Just how you believe, how you do it. Paul was surrendered. That which I've committed of him, it means, the word commitment means just giving something to you. It needs to be entrusted. That, you just put it in his hands. And then lastly, he says, here it's a personal hope. So not only is it a personal surrender, it's a personal hope. He says, against that day, which means the day of return of Jesus. The day when we stand at the beam of judgment of Christ. The day when we stand before the Lord. The day when Jesus raptures the church. And then following that, all the things that God will do. Against the day of the Lord. That future day when Jesus comes for his church. That future day when we stand before him and give an account. We have a personal hope. I've committed that to him against that day or to that day. I'm not committed to just a short-term basis. I'm not committed to just a few weeks or a few years, a few months, whatever. No. My personal hope is it's against that day. It's a hope that is eternal. It's an eternal hope. How do we know we can have an eternal hope? Well, Jesus told us. What does John 3:16 tell us? What kind of life can you have? That whosoever believes in him should have what? Not perish, but have what? Isn't that eternal hope? Is that just till you get it figured out yourself? Is that just till you die? Is that just till you get sick? Is that eternity? I told you about our friend Ray Williams. I wish you could know him. He's quite here. He's 17 County. Worked when he's probably 95. Get up every morning, put a suit on, go to a monument visit. Ray was adjusting his feet. He did some weddings every now and then. When he was weddings, he used to always say, he told them, you take this, this man for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, or for Medicare takes over.
can you trust Jesus? Eternity. It can't be eternal life if there's a time frame to it. It's eternal and not just its chronos, dimension. It's not just ticks of the clock eternal, it's eternal in its qualities. See this? There's a difference there. It's both. Eternal life is everlasting in that it never shall end, but it's also everlasting in its wonderful quality. There's nothing like it. Matter of fact, when they're I entered the church, when they're chewing tobacco one time, life everlasting. You ever heard something? I might have mentioned it. Seems like somewhere in the archives of my great history.
Maybe it's a matter of
Yeah. Maybe they didn't make it in Virginia. I don't know. Maybe we just run it out of the jar in Kentucky. I don't know what we did. But anyway. But it's good to be saved for eternity, isn't it? Now, okay. Let's make a next one is really proposition. Let's make a propositional thought. What if you and I, any of us, are one of us individuals, what we're called to wake up? Does that mean our eternal life starts? No. Really, the West, that's the end. It really means the end. That's the clock. So Paul had a great testimony. What kind of testimony do you have? Can you go down through there and also agree with Paul that these things have happened to you? And so that in the end you have hope. May God help us have hope. Let's stand together. Pray for us. We're trying to live and survive another move. Appreciate your help. We're going to get moved Friday. Okay. Tomorrow. Okay, if you ladies can help Patsy tomorrow, go clean this house at 1. And then the guys, you might help Friday morning. We'll try to move at 8, and appreciate it. We are going to survive this unless we die. So we don't have to worry about either way. So all right, love you. Let's bow together. Brian, would you close us, please, sir?